We don't know who he was, where he came from, or where he went.
Hi friends, it's Ryan Burns, and today I'm going to be doing a reaction video to Who Was DB Cooper by the channel Yarnhub. Now when I saw that Yarnhub did a DB Cooper video, I said, okay, I got to react to that, because I do love Yarnhub. They do a lot of animations on military stuff, specifically World War II, and even more specifically aviation. It seems like that's kind of their forte, specifically aviation in World War II, so bombers, fighters, and behind me there, one of my grandfathers was on a bomber in World War II, so I have an affinity for that stuff. So really love this channel, great animations, and I just figured I'd do a reaction to it. So, and be warned, some people complained during my Lamino reaction video that I was being too pedantic, but that's kind of the point, isn't it? A lot of reaction videos are just, whoa, isn't that cool? Whoa, how about that? Well, I actually do know this subject pretty well, so I will be pedantic and I will be pausing and discussing things, but I don't think Yarnhub does really good stuff, so I'm not sure how many mistakes they're going to make, because they do, like I said, really good stuff. So, but we'll see. So we'll dive right in.
It's November the 24th, 1971, the night before Thanksgiving. In Portland International Airport, passengers are ready to get home at the last minute before the holidays. At the flight counter of Northwest Orient Airlines is a smartly dressed customer. He introduces himself as Dan Cooper and asks for a one-way ticket to Seattle. Just a 30-minute hop. Paying in cash, he collects his ticket and boards flight 305, a Boeing 727-100.
Oh, look at that! That's a beautiful animation there. I think this is an older video for Yarnhub, so they've gotten better, but that's still a really cool animation. And I wish I had the ability to do that. I could do a lot of cool stuff on my channel if I could figure out how to do 3D animations like this. That's a really cool model. I like it.
Taking his seat, he notices there aren't too many other passengers, just a third full.
Right, it just said a third full, yeah. So there were 36 passengers, including the hijacker, 6 crew members, so 42 people on the plane, and that's just about right. There were 100, and I believe that a 727-100 could hold about 108 people. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was about 108. So they were roughly a third full with 36 passengers, and that is kind of weird. That you would think there'd be more people these days. The holidays, especially the day before Thanksgiving, I think that might be the busiest day of the year, perhaps. But yeah, only a third full. Interesting. And another thing too, that those uniforms look good. Those are really, really, really good uniforms. The only problem is those hats. They only wore those hats outside the plane. I actually had to contact a old Northwest stewardess and say, hey, did you ever wear those hats inside? And they said, no, those were just for outside the plane. But those are pretty cool hats. And the Loki did this too. Loki had their Schaffner and Mucklow and them wearing these hats, which are pretty cool. But again, that's not accurate though.
Time to order a drink. Bourbon and soda.
Bourbon and 7-Up, to be precise.
Florence Schaffner and Tina Mucklow, both cabin attendants, are buckled into their jump seats towards the aft of the plane. The flight's scheduled for 2:50 p.m. and everything's on time. As it's taking off, Cooper leans back and hands Florence Schaffner a note. Florence is used to getting unwanted attention from lonely and attached businessmen passing their number to her.
So, yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but that's pretty cool though. The flight actually was a little late. They were supposed to leave at around 2:50 and they ended up leaving around 3:04 or something like that. But again, pedantic.
She drops it into her pocket, smiling politely at the smartly dressed gentleman wearing horn-rimmed sunglasses. Cooper leans back and...
Okay, so a couple things. Cooper was not wearing his sunglasses when he passed Florence the note. He did not put his sunglasses on until basically as she was finishing up writing the demands for Cooper's when he put his sunglasses on. And this guy just called them horn rims. And yeah, in the FBI files, we do have witnesses calling them horn rim glasses. But then again, we've got Tina Mucklow, our best witness, and a couple others calling them like wraparound glasses, like Oakley sort of things, right? To where you can't see the sides. So I don't think you can have horn rims that are maybe you can, but I don't know if you can have horn rims that are wraparounds. That kind of doesn't really work, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a sunglasses aficionado, but yeah. So the lenses on his sunglasses were actually called brown or honey brown. Several of the witnesses said they weren't black. They were kind of a yellowish color. And the rims were very dark black plastic. One of the stewardesses, Alice Hancock, described them as looking like prescription sunglasses. So in my mind, I think about Roy Orbison, right? Those big kind of Roy Orbison prescription sunglasses that did kind of have that yellowish tint to them. So that's kind of in my mind's eye what I think about Cooper wearing these like Roy Orbison type sunglasses. I don't think they were prescription sunglasses. I mean, they could have been, but yeah.
And says, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." Florence is aghast. Reaching into her pocket, she opens the note. Written in felt tip in all capital letters, every word strikes home. Florence stands up, dropping the note. Tina
Again, pedantics. The note, we believe, was actually miss in block letters, and then "I have a bomb in my briefcase and want you to sit by me" was in cursive, pretty sure. So it wasn't all in all caps or block writing like that.
Mucklow is astonished to see Florence unbuckle, get up, and sit next to Cooper. That wasn't normal procedure. What was going on? Florence signaled to Tina to look at the note, now on the floor. Tina, upon reading the note, got on the intercom to the pilots and let them know there was a problem. Cooper opened his briefcase and showed it to the two young women. Mucklow felt sick. Dynamite, sticks of it hooked up to a battery.
Now, I don't know about that keypad there. That's definitely not for sure. Cooper had two wires and said, "I can just touch these together and we'll all be dead." Bomb probably wasn't real, but you never know. But yeah.
In a cool voice, Cooper gave his demands, which Florence wrote down and took to the cockpit, leaving Tina to...
One thing interesting about Cooper, by the way, is that the timing of it is strange. So he hijacks the plane. He passes the note to Florence while they're taxiing to the runway, right? So now she doesn't read the note. In fact, they are lifting off the ground. They're literally pulling back as the emergency chimes go off, which is Tina calling the cockpit. Ding, 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 ding. She hit the chime button a whole bunch of times, which is an emergency. And I believe Radicek said they were literally leveling off when this happened. So what's interesting about that is that, why not wait until you're off the ground? If your whole plan is to just go to Seattle, then to get your money or whatever, then why not just wait until you've lifted off? Because there was a chance. What if they're on the taxiway or on the tarmac and Florence sees the note and screams in terror, right? Everybody's gonna panic and whatever, and this whole thing could have taken place in Portland, which is interesting, right? Of course he could have said, "Look, I have a bomb. I want to go to Seattle," but still, it just seems odd, the timing of it. It almost seems like he didn't care. I guess he wanted to go to Seattle for sure, but why not wait till you're off the ground? I don't know why he did that.
Sit with Cooper. $200,000 by 5 p.m., 2 front parachutes, 2 back parachutes, and a fuel truck waiting on the ground in Seattle, as well as some food for the flight crew. Everyone tried to keep calm and to keep the other passengers in the dark as to the drama that was unfolding. On the ground, government agents sprang into action. The first thing was to get the plane out over the water. If it was going to blow up, then no one wanted that over a populated area. Co-pilot Bill Ratazak got on the passenger intercom.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your flight with us. We're having a minor technical issue and we need to burn off some fuel before we land. Nothing to worry about, but we'll be circling around here for a few hours and we'll get you down on the ground just as soon as we can.
Pretty good Radicek voice there. Radicek actually has this wonderful, wonderful pilot's voice, deep baritone maybe at base even. He's got a great voice. In fact, one of the passengers told the media after the hijacking, he said the co-pilot or whoever the pilot was who came over and told us all this stuff had a voice that would make you calm on the way to the guillotine. So good endorsement of Radicek's voice. He did have this great voice.
For almost 2 hours, the flight circled as a lightning storm started outside.
No. Okay, well, Yarnhub, tisk. Okay, yeah, there was no thunderstorm happening at any point during the DB Cooper hijacking. No thunderstorm. It was either light rain showers or very light rain showers, according to the National Weather Service. So it was cloudy, but again, it's Seattle, Portland. It's the Pacific Northwest. It's wet. That's just typical weather, but I do not know of any lightning or thunder in the area, to my knowledge.
As the plane came into land, Cooper said to the attendants, "Looks like Tacoma down there." He was right. FBI agents gathered the ransom money from different Seattle area banks.
Okay, so it wasn't different banks. It was one bank, Seafirst National Bank, and it wasn't the FBI who gathered it because the FBI said, "Hey, do you want us to help you or not?" Back then, when a plane was hijacked or there was a kidnapping or whatever, the FBI gave any types of extortion attempts. The FBI would say, "Look, do you want to pay it and we can go find the guy later, or do you want us to intervene on your behalf and do some law enforcement-y stuff, right? Do a raid or whatever." And they gave them the choice back then. And Donald Nyrop, the president for Northwest Airlines, said, "No, we're just going to pay it, and you guys stand back and let us handle it. You can try to get him later on." Because the guy said he had a bomb, and you can't, probably wasn't real, but you never know. So, but no, the money was all gathered by Northwest Orient. They called their bank, which was Seafirst Bank, and said, "Hey, we need some money. We will wire transfer $200,000 to you tomorrow to cover it. Please be good for it and let us have it." And so they were. And so they went to Seafirst Bank, and Seafirst Bank sent money with two guys, one of whom was at CooperCon last year. There's a plug for CooperCon. Come to CooperCon, people. It's fun. But Bill Grinnell, he's an older guy now, but he was there. He's the one who carried the money in his lap to the airport. But anyway, so no, it's just one bank that they got it from.
All in unmarked $20 bills. They'd gotten some military parachutes, which Cooper turned down. Instead...
Oh, no. Okay. All right. Oh, no, Cooper didn't turn down any parachutes at all. Cooper just said, "I want parachutes," and got parachutes. He supposedly bitched about the backpack parachutes not having D-rings so he could hook his front reserve parachute on, but he did not turn down any parachutes. He just didn't seem to care, but no, that's a mistake.
He requested civilian parachutes as used by skydiving schools.
Whoa, my God. Okay, no. Remember, Cooper just said parachutes. This man did not specify any sort of parachutes. He just said, "I want parachutes."
The FBI obliged. Tina Mucklow said,
"He seemed rather nice. He was never cruel or nasty. He was thoughtful and calm all the time."
When the reality of the situation hit Schaffner, Cooper calmly reassured her. Cooper ordered a second bourbon and soda, which he...
No, Cooper only had one drink, and then he spilled it. Actually, so he only had one bourbon and 7-Up, and he spilled it.
Paid for and tried to give Mucklow the change.
No, he tried to give Schaffner the change.
Mucklow, calmed by Cooper's demeanor, decided to engage him in conversation. She asked,
"Sir, do you have a grudge with Northwest Air?"
Okay, so Schaffner was long gone by the point that basically Schaffner jets off to the cockpit and never comes back. And Tina is going, "Oh, well, I guess I better sit with this guy." And so, no, Tina was never really interacting with Cooper while Flo would have been there. So that's incorrect.
Airlines?
Cooper replied, "I don't have a grudge against your airline, miss. I just have a grudge."
What a line.
The plane touched down in the dark at around 5:30 p.m. It taxied upon Cooper's request to a well-lit part of the airport. Passengers exited completely unaware of the fact that they had just completed their journey on a hijacked plane. Cooper had all the blinds lowered so as not to give any potential snipers a clear shot.
That's actually not sure about that. In fact, they didn't lower the blinds until much later on. I believe, gosh, I think he was on the ground before lowering the blinds for quite some time. So they could have got a shot at him if they had seen him. Heck, I mean, there's the only couple photographs we have of the actual incident. The shades are up. You can clearly see inside the plane they're lit up. So that wasn't until later on.
Bags of cash and the parachutes were delivered to the aft staircase of the plane. And
man, Yarnhub, come on. No. Okay, so no, Tina went out the front exit. Cooper was smart enough to not have these things brought up the aft stairs, because if you lower the aft stairs and have them delivered up the aft stairs, that opens you up to being people coming on behind you, So Cooper wanted all the action to be in front of him so he could see what was going on. So no, the aft stairs were not lowered until much later on, until they took off, actually, again. So no, all this happened, a stairs truck pulled up to the front, and all this would have happened on the front exit.
Mucklow retrieved them. Satisfied, Cooper allowed everyone to exit the plane, except Captain Scott, Flight Attendant Mucklow, First Officer Ratazak, and Flight Engineer Harold E. Anderson. The FBI did what they could to delay the refueling, but Cooper grew impatient.
Okay, there's another mistake. The FBI did what they could to delay. Well, I mean, there were some weird delays for sure, but I have it on good authority from FBI guys who were there that night. They did not play any games with Cooper. They were told to stand down, and they did. They just twiddled their thumbs, basically, until the hijacking was over. I mean, they did some stuff, but they were not hands-on like that. The flight crew, there were several. It took 4 different refueling trucks. It usually only takes 1 refueling truck to refuel a 727, but a lot of things happened, and it took 4 refueling trucks to finally get it done. And the flight crew were pretty upset about that. They did think that somebody was trying to stall them. So, but nobody, to my knowledge, was actually trying to stall Cooper. And Cooper got really pissed off about the refueling process too, because he seemed to know about some refueling things and did not like what was going on with refueling.
This shouldn't take so long. Let's get this show on the road. Cooper told his plan to the cockpit crew via Mucklow. Tell them this up front. Okay, boys, this is how it's going to go. We're going to Mexico City, and we're going to take the slow route. I want them.
All right, boys, see? So, yeah, Yarnhub's English, as you can tell. So I guess every American is a gangster who, yeah, see, we're going to Mexico City, see? I guess that's what everybody sounds like. I love it. All right, boys, listen up. I love it. It's great.
Minimum airspeed this crate can go without stalling, which by my reckoning is 100 knots or 115 miles per hour.
No.
Also, I want a maximum height of 10,000 feet. I want the landing gear down all the way and the flaps at 15 degrees. Oh, and I like the fresh air. Let's keep the cabin depressurized. Ratazak told Cooper that with
That configuration, the plane could only go 1,000 miles.
not enough to get to Mexico City, they agreed to refuel in Reno on the way. Cooper turned.
Flying in that configuration, they actually were going to have to make 3 refueling stops just to get to Mexico City. So they were going to stop at Reno, Nevada, Yuma, Arizona, and then Mazatlan, I think that's how you say it, Mexico.
To Mucklow. Now, miss, if you wouldn't mind showing me how to operate those stairs. At 7:40 p.m., the 727 took to the air once more, headed for Mexico City. Shortly after takeoff, 2 Convair F-106 fighter jets joined the hijacked airliner, one approaching from above, the other from below, impossible to see from the main cabin. With the 2 of them alone,
I just point out that those F-106s, they couldn't go slow enough. So they had to fly in big S turns to stay behind this lumbering 727. They were going too fast. These are fighter interceptors. They're supposed to take out, they were built to take out Soviet bombers. They go really fast. and they couldn't keep up, and they couldn't see anyway. So it was kind of a useless thing. A C-130 eventually, maybe from the California National Guard, perhaps. I think a C-130 eventually got behind them and did follow them, which they could fly slow enough to stay behind. But those jets, they gave up not too long after. They peeled off by the time the plane got to Portland. So they were only behind that Cooper for 20 minutes maybe.
In the cabin, Cooper turned one last time to Mucklow. "Thank you, miss, for all you have done. Why don't you go up front and join the pilots?" She replied,
Won't you please take the bomb with you when you jump?
Cooper said nothing, just started preparing his chutes.
No, that's not fair. No, Cooper. Cooper was nice to her. He goes, okay, he knew she was scared. She says, please take the bomb with you. He goes, I will disarm it or I'll take it with me. Don't worry. And he waved goodbye and she was gone.
Heading to the cabin, she turned back one last time to see Cooper working on the parachutes. That was the last time she saw Cooper. Mucklow later told Rolling Stone magazine,
Being able to reunite with the rest of my crew and coming through the cockpit was an amazing experience. We were still in harm's way, but I wasn't alone. All of us looked at each other and there was just a sense of amazement.
The co-pilot, Ratajak, said, all of a sudden the cockpit door opened and in walked this lovely lady who had been our passive resistance to the hijacker. It was a big relief. At 8:13 p.m., a warning light came on to show that the aft door was open. The plane was flying through a heavy rainstorm over the Lewis River in southwest Washington. Cooper, along with the money, launched himself into the dark night. Despite hefty rewards for information, Cooper was never found. Searches involving 200 Army soldiers turned up nothing. The FBI published the numbers of the dollar bills. Nothing. There were several copycat hijackings which led to the FAA making the Cooper vane mandatory, a device which prevented...
I actually like this. He's wearing a DB Cooper t-shirt. That's not far off, actually, for these copycats. I know of two copycats who were legitimate, seemingly Cooper fanboys. That would be Richard McCoy and Richard LaPointe. Both of them were found. LaPointe had DB Cooper like clippings like hanging on his wall, like, you know, instead of Farrah Fawcett, he had DB Cooper on his walls. McCoy never shut up. Apparently, according to his sister-in-law, he never shut up about the Cooper hijacking. He was really obsessed with it and wrote a term paper on it. So he was not Cooper, people. He was a Cooper fanboy. But yeah, I like this t-shirt. It's cool.
The rear stairs from being deployed in mid-flight. In 1978, a deer hunter found printed instructions for lowering the stairs of a Boeing 727 in the woods near Castle Rock in Washington. In 1980, an 8-year-old...
I'll point out that that placard there, those instructions that Hunter found, there was actually 2 of them found. Neither of them we know now, thanks to me, came from the Cooper plane. I was able to get some super high resolution photographs, original negatives of the Cooper plane from the University of Nevada, Reno campus that were taken in Reno of the plane. And that placard is on the plane when it landed. So neither of those 2 placards that were found were from the plane, but they're going to talk about Brian Ingram. And yes, Brian did find around $6,000. They're probably going to say $5,800, but it was $6,000.
Boy on vacation on the Columbia River found $5,800 on the riverbank in bundles. The FBI confirmed it was from Cooper's stash. 10 bills were missing from one of the packets, and even more mysteriously, in 2020, an analysis of diatoms found on the bills shows that the bundles were not submerged in the river or buried dry at the time of the hijacking in November 1971. Only diatoms that bloom during springtime were found, meaning the money entered the water at least several months after the hijacking. In 2016, with no more leads, the FBI closed the DB Cooper
I love
case.
doing the Raiders of the Lost Ark cold case storage. I love it. Now those files, I think all that Cooper stuff, all of it fits into a box. All the actual evidence literally fits into a single box. The paperwork, it's about 85,000 pages though. That does not fit into a single box. But the actual Cooper evidence is so scant that it fits into a single cardboard box.
Many have obsessed over D.B. Cooper and believe that Tina Mucklow holds the key to solving the mystery. In 2021, she told Rolling Stone magazine that at times the harassment had been intense. She'd endured aggressive Cooper obsessives who didn't take no for an answer.
There have been many times when I felt that people didn't respect no, or not interested, or just the fact that I didn't contact them. Anytime you have a mystery, there's this need to solve that mystery. I understand that. Each person has to do what they have to do, but I think it's important to respect that other people may not have that same agenda.
If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel and please watch more videos of ours. Thank you.
All right, good stuff. Well, good animations, I guess. Although that Cooper took his tie off, so he's not going to have his tie, and I can't imagine Cooper jump wearing his sunglasses. Probably had goggles in the mystery bag that he brought on board with him. But I like that they've got Tina there at the end saying, look, people need to leave me alone. I definitely need to respect these people, these witnesses. I really don't think they can provide much information at this point. 50-something years later, maybe some little tidbits, but the best evidence for Cooper is what these people said, is what Tina Mucklow said 10 minutes after getting off the plane, right? So we have all that stuff. So there are some things that I would like to know from her, but we're not going to bother Tina. So anyway, but that was so a lot of mistakes there, but you know, we're getting better. Everybody's improving, and I do love Yarnhub. Like I said, I love their animations, and that was good stuff. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. I just wanted to do this quick reaction video to Yarnhub, and like and subscribe and all that YouTube-y stuff, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.